Well, f*** you, Craig, and welcome back to the 97th rendition of Cooped-Up Conversations with Aaron, Joey, Prokop, and me, Cooper. Joining us today, a very special guest, an absolute legend who just treated us like royalty for no reason. We appreciate it so much. Played a great course, Wenteworth Hills. Mr. Ryan, I didn't get your last name, and we probably shouldn't say it. What's going on?
Hey, what's up? No, my last name is Poholek, but
what origin is that?
Polish, actually.
Oh, a fellow Pole.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I know.
That's why we get along so well.
I love the jump. Hey, Joe, what do you got to say?
I'm not Polish, unfortunately.
I'm Polish. Unfortunately for who? I don't know what to say. I hate the intros, dude. The first few minutes is always fucking brutal.
Do you want me to intro this? Since
I want you to
Ryan's
intro
my
it,
friend?
Prokop. Yeah. I'm mellow right now.
I don't know how I'll start this off, but me and Ryan go back freaking preschool.
Yeah.
Literally, Animal Crackers preschool, North Attleboro, the place where Aaron Hernandez did the thing. Or that's
Allegedly.
technically Attleboro, but yeah,
He was innocent.
That's how we know each other. And Ryan let us come out to his fucking gorgeous country club. I don't know if you want to talk about that at all.
Sure. Yeah. So, yeah.
Feel free if
you want to.
Let's do that.
We're gonna do the passing of the mic. Sorry. Yeah. So I'm glad to have you guys out. You know, any exposure to the course is great. We've had this since 2012. Obviously, I was telling these guys a little bit about in the beginning. My grandfather was a plumber, and he bought Heather Hill as like a investment in 1983. And then from there, Heather Hill, which is 2.5 miles down the road from here, was a successful course, did really well with it. And after he died in 2011 and my dad took over, we saw this as an investment opportunity, and then it ended up working out really well, reviving Wentworth, and here we are today. So, yeah.
It's such a cool layout because, like, I played a different round of golf than I've played in a long time. Like, just even shot-wise, like club selection, stuff like that, it was like a lot different round than ever. So if you haven't ever played here, dude, you need to get out here. This was a fucking fun round.
Yeah, I mean, the fairways are challenging. I mean, our groundskeeper, Peter Olson, he does a great job with everything. So he treats this almost like his lawn. So, like, if he lived here. So, yeah, I mean, it's all our staff and our grounds crew. I mean, they're the glue that keeps us together and gets this thing going. The
greens rolled so true, too. Like, it was one of the when did you guys aerate?
I'm glad you asked that because I was actually embarrassed to have you guys come out because I aerated today. So,
really? It was today?
Dude,
they rolled really true.
We aerated today. Yeah, no. So he uses a smaller plug machine, so, like, the holes in the greens aren't as noticeable. But, yeah, we aerated today, though.
Dude, for aerating, like, I've been on courses where they aerated like that week and stuff like that, and it was like unplayable. The putts rolled like super true.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if you use that huge machine, I mean, some courses it's like a maze, like when you play mini golf, like can't even.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. But yeah. So you said you run in college. Like, what event do you do in college?
So I ran Division I track at Bryant. I was a captain there. I ran the 800 and the mile. So that's my specialty. So it's like middle distance running. It's like kind of combining almost like if a sprinter and then a long distance runner kind of had a baby. That would be a middle distance runner, basically. So that's my thing.
What was your mile time?
I ran 4:11 in college. So
that's fucking absurd.
I was happy with it. I still have Bryant's mile record for now, but these two twins that are really good at Bryant, they'll probably break it eventually. But it was cool to break it when I was in college. It was a good time.
So that's the record. What was the record before?
It was 4:15 before. Yeah, and so I was happy with.
That's fucking absurd.
Yeah.
Have you ever done like a marathon or anything like that?
I did. That's the funny thing is it's always the annoying question that people always ask you if you're a runner. So a mile and an 800 is so much different than a marathon. But everybody's like, oh, you ran in college. You ever run a marathon? So to answer your question, yes. To stop people from asking me that question, I did run a marathon. I ran this marathon called the Beantown Marathon in Hingham. I did it with a bunch of my college teammates right after I finished grad school, and I qualified for the Boston Marathon. super excited to run it. Unfortunately, the Boston Marathon I qualified for was COVID, so 2020. So I trained all winter for the Boston Marathon, and then it got canceled in March of 2020. But I did end up getting to run it when they had the October one, so I got to do it, run that course, and it was fun. I mean, I've been going out there since I was a kid, so to finally get to do it meant a lot.
How do you prevent nipple chafage?
Dude, you actually, it's so funny. You have to tape them with little Band-Aids. So the morning of the race, I had to put Band-Aids on my nipples and Vaseline and stuff. Yeah. I actually didn't even realize that was a problem, but when I was training for the first marathon I ever did, me and one of my teammates did a 20-mile run. And my freaking nipples, they were killing me after the run. I was like, what the fuck? Why is this so painful? And yeah, it was. That's why. Yeah. It was, yeah.
Have you ever heard about the London Marathon where it was 65 or 70 degrees and it was so hot that people were passing out and shit because they weren't used to it being that hot?
Celsius?
No, not Celsius, I don't think. I don't know. They're not adaptable over there, I heard. It's fucking nuts.
No, I mean, even Boston is like that. It's the weather is so variable and it's hit or miss around here in New England. I mean, you guys are all New England natives, so you know that it's it can be tough, right? Because you train all winter and you're so used to cold weather. So when you hit that first 80 degree, 70 degree day, if you hit that in June, right, or July, you're used to that. But when you hit that in April, that's why people always pass out on these races.
Then you're running 26 miles, which I don't think people are meant to do.
No, definitely not. It's actually very bad for your body.
I was going to say, definitely not great.
It's very tough, very tough.
That's mad funny. So you've known Prokop since Animal Crackers. Did he used to be a bully, dude? I don't know. I think he's hiding something.
He was always a really good friend. You know what I mean? We always hung out, had a lot of common interests. We loved playing Beyblades, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Legos. Matt was kind of I always make fun of him though whenever he posts things that he collects because when he was a kid, he took horrible care of his toys. If there was somebody who would be Sid in Toy Story, Matt would probably be Sid. I don't know if you want to kind of throw a rebuttal here, but
I do want to hear a rebuttal.
This kid is picture perfect. This kid made Lego kits for people and then was here, they're completed, and sold them on eBay. Is that something? Am I making this up?
You completed Lego kits, made the Lego
So I never sold Legos on eBay. However, yes, I did build people's Lego sets for them because they wouldn't follow the directions and stuff. And I know Lego's about being creative and stuff, but dude, you can't even tell me that when you're a 12-year-old kid and you buy a huge spaceship or a Lego Imperial Star Destroyer, you're yeah, I want to make my own square out of all these pieces that I got. No, you want to build a Star Destroyer picture. It's just half the time the kids couldn't do it, but yeah.
So you were just elite.
I was just elite Lego builder, I guess.
Dude,
I built one. This one is actually worth hundreds of dollars now. It's the Slave One, the original Slave One, the Boba Fett ship. It's worth hundreds of dollars. It's the one that looks like a
flies sideways.
Yeah, it's got a big flat side and it looks like a
yeah.
It looks like a thing looks like a hairdryer. I broke that, and I don't think he let me live that one down. I also could not make the Imperial Star Destroyer. I gave up on that one. So I will say I had to give up on
that's the big triangle one, right? See, my uncle gave me one of those when I was 6 or 7 years old, way too young to put those things together, at least if with my mental capacity.
No, I mean, it's tough. They take hours. I can't even say, when I was a little kid, I used to, fail at Legos all the time. And I'd be so mad, especially because I had this one friend that was, so good at them. And I would feel so bad about myself when I would build them and I couldn't do it. I remember one time I got one for Christmas and, dude, I spent all day building this, all day. And I made a mistake on the first page, but I didn't realize it. And it made the structural integrity of the, Lego, not work. And I got to the last page, clicked the last piece, it broke. Had a meltdown. Yeah, Mom had to take the Lego away from me that day. So.
I'm fucking dead.
Yeah.
I had something similar happen to me with an IKEA shelf, but it wasn't when I was a kid. It was 6 months ago. I I put something in backwards and it was the same thing. I didn't notice until I put the thing up. I put the fucking shelf in backwards and it's hammered it. I almost lost it. But that anger is unmatched. That kind of boiling anger that you can't calm down. and like because you made a mistake, you can't fix it, so you just want to smash.
Dude,
That's
when
the
you
worst
spend all
feeling.
day doing something, I don't care what it is. When you get to the end and that finish line, and then it breaks, freak out. It's like, what are you gonna do? Like,
Fucking-
Matt was the video game friend, though. Like, I mean, he was so much better than me when we were kids at that stuff. Like,
It's funny because he's not good now.
No, but I mean, back then, seriously, like he was the one who would recommend me all the games that I would play. I mean, one of my most favorite games of all time was recommended by Matt. He recommended this game called Uncharted. Nathan Drake. I don't know if you saw the Sony movie, but doesn't do the video game justice. Doesn't do it justice. But yeah, I mean, he was a pro. I mean, I'm kind of disappointed to hear that he's not good now. But
Okay, so yeah, I'm a big story movie guy. Like, if a game's got a good campaign that's gonna get you in like a movie, Uncharted 2, best campaign written ever.
What console was this on?
It was a PS3.
Okay.
I think it was Yeah, I think it was Sony only.
so Sony, yes, it was a Sony exclusive. Yeah.
Maybe I'll just take the mic. Freaking fantastic, like
Fantastic.
freaking fantastic writing, voice acting, and it's like playing a movie. And that's how it was advertised originally, and it actually plays out like that. I also like recommend Infamous from the PlayStation 3 era. This is like a video game all about like Spider-Man parkour, but you don't have web slinging. You actually have electric powers. You can like grind on like subway rails.
That's dope.
And it's all about karma. You can be a villain and have people fear you in the city and rule like a gang lord, or you can be a good guy and have people praise you. So when you go into areas of the city that people hate you, they'll throw rocks at you. And when you go in and people love you, they cheer you and also beat up like the other gang members that you might be like fighting. Really interesting games in that era of PS3 that I love.
I have to interject with this Infamous thing to tell a funny story about Matt. So, like, he was addicted to that game as a kid. I actually became very close with Matt's little brother, Thomas, because when Infamous came out, I would go over to hang out with Matt, and I wanted to hang out with Matt and do stuff, like go outside and do stuff around the neighborhood. But my dude was like, there's like these little shard things, I think, right? You have to collect some. There's some collectible to beat the game 100%, because beating the game was just not good enough for Matt. He had to do everything. So, dude, he would spend all day playing that. He'd be like, yo, you want to go outside? He'd be like, yeah, in a minute.
Yeah, in a minute.
So I was with Thomas.
I'm dead. Were you a Mountain Dew Funyun kid?
I was a grandma's cookies and milk kid.
Cookies and milk?
Grandma made fucking cookies, and then there was cartons of milk. Ryan, back me up.
Cartons of milk?
I just have to say that Matt's grandmother was the GOAT. Marie was unbelievable woman. I literally loved her like my own grandmother. Seriously, I mean, when I was a kid, my grandmother died when I was really little, so I never got to know her. And then my dad's mom died when he was like 15. Not to get like deep on some podcast for fun, but Matt's grandmother meant a lot to me because, I mean, she was seriously such a nice lady. Was always supportive, always called, asked about me, was super nice to my mom. So great
lady,
Marie, great lady.
Is that the house you own now?
Yes, I live in her house. I don't know if you know that, Ryan.
I did know that. I think my mom ran into your mom at like Target or something. Like you show a word of mouth, but yeah, I did know that. So,
dude, did the cross country team at Bryant throw down? Did you guys have a sick party house or what?
Yeah, I mean, so like it's hit or miss. Like some of the kids did party a lot. I did when I was like a freshman and sophomore. And then when I kind of got really serious my junior year, and I called it Mormon mode, where I just wouldn't drink during the season. And I'd go to bed really early. I mean, I think another thing that changed too is we had practice in the morning, so it's really tough to get up at 6 for practice after crushing a bunch of like beers till 3 o'clock in the morning, and then go run 10 miles. Not the easiest thing in the world to do. I mean, I had done it before, but so they do throw down.
So when you did the 411, you said you weren't drinking.
No, I was not. I was not drinking. So I
That
did
makes a lot
not.
of
I did
sense
not
then.
drink to celebrate after that either.
Did they give you like a plaque? Do you have like a plaque at the school?
So I mean, there's this thing called like the Bulldog Award. There, you get your name on the school for like the best athlete in that specific sport. So like I got that for track. So I
Sure, you're like a legend.
I would
That's
say,
that's fucking dope. That's fucking dope. That's fucking dope.
I mean, I appreciate it. I don't really like the term legend already. I mean, like, you know what I mean? I mean, there will be records are meant to be broken, right? I mean, there will be kids that'll come to Bryant that'll eventually run faster than I did.
Yeah.
And there'll be kids that'll run faster than they did. I mean, all you can really do is when you go to a school, right, is to just try to be the best athlete you can be and leave your mark some way, and then be happy for the next generation. So while I was there, I that's what I tried to do.
Dude, fuck yeah, dude. That's dope. Brian's D1 too, right?
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
not a joke.
They are.
Yeah.
So they became D1 in 2008. So like when we were in like middle school. Yeah.
Dude, I always forget about Bryant. I don't know why, but it's like, how far is it from here? Like in relation
I
to here?
would say probably like 30, 40 minutes. I mean, we just accepted the Bryant women's golf team, so
They must be good.
They like probably commute about 30, 40 minutes. I'd say, yeah.
Are they filthy? Have you seen them play?
So it's a new program, right? So I don't know how good they are right now or how they'll fare. They're not even in the America East. So Bryant just left the NEC to go to the America East Conference. So I don't know how they'll fare in that. I think that they're in like the Big South though. It's weird. Like the America East doesn't like sponsor women's golf. So, but I mean, I think the program will do good. The coach seems like a good guy. So
You guys will be playing UML now, dude. American East.
yeah, I loved running at UMass Lowell. Like so what's cool about track is like we got to run at like it's a big invitational. So it's not like you only run against NEC schools and stuff like that. So I had some races at UMass Lowell. I liked the campus. It was cool. Cool area.
You leave campus, not so cool.
Yeah, you know what? Before races, you have to warm up. So I would go for a 2-mile run before my race, and like I would run through the neighborhoods, and I'd be like, man, maybe I shouldn't be doing
Yeah,
this.
some of them are fine. If you run fast enough, you're good.
There you go.
That's
There you
fine.
go. But, yeah, no, it's
411.
it's a cool area though, for sure.
How far did you guys travel for that? Like, stayed in New England for the most part?
No. I mean, I went all around. I raced in California. I raced in Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina.
Dude, that must have been dope.
Because you not only went to Bryant to run, you went to University of Tampa to run for a little bit, right?
Yeah, so I redshirted my sophomore year of outdoor track. Obviously, you guys know what redshirting is, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I just trained with the team, didn't compete or race. And so I never thought I was going to use that eligibility. But then my senior year went so well, I was like, I might as well get a graduate degree. So University of Tampa, I was down to Tampa, Louisville, and I looked at Providence College. And then University of South Carolina were my 4 schools. But I chose Tampa because I only had outdoor track eligibility left, and they start outdoor track in February versus all those other schools started in April. So it was like
You got more time.
more time, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
That must have sucked running and then not getting to compete and like having to train that whole year. That must have been kind of brutal. I'm sure it's the same for every red shirt, but
Yeah, I mean it's definitely at least a lot easier, I will say, than like if you redshirt like a basketball player or a baseball player or a golf guy, because like track has 3 seasons really if you're a distance runner: cross country, indoor, and outdoor track. So it's like I really only missed that year. Like I got to compete in the fall, I got to compete in the winter, so you really only missed the spring.
oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
That's not bad. Dude, fuck yeah. What else did we have here? Dude, I'm fucking tired.
Yeah, I mean, you guys grinded out there for a long time. I
Yeah.
mean, it seemed like. How long has this podcast been going? I'd love to hear more about you guys. I mean, I know I'm sure all your viewers know, but
No,
I
yeah,
didn't really.
dude, yeah, no. So we started. Me and the kid who's not here started, like, we did one episode during COVID, like the first few weeks of COVID. Then we had him on the second one, and then we did it for a few weeks, where or probably a month or 2, right? 2 months? No, more than that. Maybe almost.
Before
Prokop. How long was it before Prokop?
A month or 2, yeah.
We didn't do every week. That's the thing.
It was like,
We didn't do. I feel like we didn't do every week as consistent. So it might have been even like
Could have been more.
3. Yeah.
yeah, because we did about like 20 episodes without Prokop. And then Prokop came on, started editing it. That's when we kind of really started taking it seriously. But this is like the last 6 months, I'd say, it's the first like time we've really, really grinded and been doing other stuff other than just recording once a week. Because I feel like we needed to get like used to doing stuff. But now we're kind of at that point. So the last like 6 months, like we've been doing a lot more in-person stuff. We've been golfing, doing golf content.
And then what are your like events? Is it all golf content related, or is it like?
No, we kind of don't have any kind of topic, I guess. Like it kind of goes with the flow. We like we do a lot of golf content because it's easy. Like when we go, there's like a course in our town. It's like a par 3 course, and it's like $15 after 2. So we just go out there in the afternoon after work at 5 and just play as much as we can, record stuff, put some stuff on Instagram. We've been like we haven't really put put together golf videos, but like on social media, it kind of blows up quick.
Is
like,
that the medium that is, do you think, the best to upload podcasts these days, other than YouTube anymore? People don't do YouTube, or
the YouTubes have gone well, dude. We posted one.
Oh, you post on YouTube too?
When we do videos, we post on YouTube, and we did one that came out that had like, I don't know what it is at now, but it was close to 100, and then we still got decent listens on Spotify and stuff. I think like our YouTube stuff does like fairly well, because I think just the visual medium, like people like
to
the
see.
look. Yeah.
Just had on the YouTube, like we hit 100 views on a YouTube video, which is unheard of for our podcast. Like our top like podcast views is like 66. It's like we're not like, obviously, like, you know, we say it every time. We're just fucking four white guys with a podcast. We're nothing special, but it's like, you know, nice to actually see it like, you know, come into fruition in a way. It's kind of crazy when we post on YouTube and it gets like an outer look. So if you're new to the channel or new to Cooped Up Convos because you're watching this, thank you.
Yeah, shout out to you. Yeah. But we had like one really good week, like in April or May, where we had like 200 listens in a week, which was like big for us. And then we've stayed pretty solid, like on Spotify, like above, like I think for the most part it's been above 50 each week, like listens to all episodes that we put out. Some people are a little bit behind, stuff like that, but enough people like pop in and stuff. It's great.
I've read like that, like for stuff like this, it's like the first like 500 or like 1,000 people to listen is like the hardest. Or
Yeah.
Or with YouTube would be like subscribers, like the first 1,000's the hardest, and then once you hit that, it just grows exponentially, like which is funny.
Yeah, like comes in chunks. Like even on like, so this week on TikTok, I posted a few that like got on the algorithm, and we've gained like 250 followers in like 2 days on TikTok, which is like huge for us, because like TikTok, obviously, like it's a fucking cesspool, but like if you can get enough eyes, like, because then 1 or 2 people will come from TikTok, check out our Instagram, stuff like that. Like our Instagram's been growing. We've gained like 20 followers this week on Instagram, which is tough. So yeah, so we're finally at 200, which is dope. And yeah, we're moving. We're trying to get it going.
That's good. We actually, fun fact, we have a kid in our town. He lives literally a half mile down the road from me, or used to. That became a YouTuber. He got to the million. He hit the million.
He was on Machinima.
Yeah, Machinima for a while.
Damn.
SGC Barbarian, Minecraft YouTuber. This guy Nick Barbarian. He was a cool dude. He actually, I was so sad. Every once in a while I check on his channel because he stopped making contact, but he like just fell below 1 million subscribers because he like stopped because it was, I don't know. I think he just probably reached the peak and he was done. But I mean, it was huge for him though. I mean, it was always awesome to get to 1 million.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that would be kind of fucking crazy, especially with how like saturated podcasts and stuff are now. That's why we're trying to do different stuff, because like some people might not want to come and listen to us talk for 2 hours about nonsense. So like we put short stuff out, and like we just kind of try to make it more digestible for people, which is good. But you got to chum. We were talking about this last night. I feel like this is the era of chumming, and then if people like it, they'll kind of sift through. But
I just wanted to say on SGC Barbarian, go check out the OG. Kid bought a freaking Camaro in high school with
Legend.
that money. It was insane. Like he came, like everyone knew about it. Like, oh yeah, he's YouTube famous. He plays Minecraft. And then like 1 week he came in with the Camaro, and everyone was like, oh shit, this kid's making
he must have
money.
Walked around like his dong was the biggest on campus for like a week.
His nose.
Oh my god.
Dude, but
He's Italian.
I mean, seriously, he was super good though. Like with that, yeah. He like I couldn't. I mean, I subscribed. I don't even play Minecraft, but I wanted to support because it was cool to like to see that, because I mean, there's so many people that try something like that, and like a lot of people take the safe path and the boring thing, and Nick didn't even do that. He just went right for it, went for his dream, and he didn't go to college. He skipped that, went right into that, and now he doesn't make videos anymore. He's like a consultant for other YouTube channels. Like he
That's
basically
awesome.
like plans YouTube videos. Yeah, so it's cool.
Dude, I feel like that's the thing. We were talking. We had some influencer from Cleveland on last week, and she was talking about just like jumping in and doing it, and she like blew up in like a few months. It's just like the getting past the having not that many people listen for a while, and then it's kind of like you grow a little slowly. Once you get past the embarrassment of like, oh, like people definitely talk shit that we have a fucking podcast, it's kind of been good. But yeah,
I mean, that's probably the tough part about it, right? Is it's like in the beginning, it's like, oh wow, I'm so cringe, and it's like, but would you rather have people think you're cringe in the beginning to have a shot at that 1 million subscriber famous podcast, or would you rather just do a normal career job thing, boring, not go for it? I mean, you might as well go for it. I mean, even like look at like Logan and Jake Paul, right? Everybody laughed at them. I mean, people still do, but I mean, like, they're making millions of dollars on their fights, and I mean, like, who's really laughing now? Like in the beginning, though, Logan Paul was like the laughing stock of his college, right? Because he was just making these dumb Vine videos, and like, you know what I mean? It blew up.
Yeah, it's just like you got to kind of put yourself out there, and if it doesn't work, oh well. We try to keep it pretty down the middle, though, just in case like HR ever gets a hold of it.
Oh yeah. Where do you guys work? I mean, do you say that on the podcast? Or
we don't really talk about
it.
I'm an analyst.
We don't say company names, but we can. Like here, I do public sector contracts for a big IT company, and Joey has an NDA, so we won't actually ask him.
Well, I can say what I do.
Okay, what do you do?
Engineer.
Joey, so you engineer. Maybe are you reverse engineering UFOs? Is that what you
No, nothing that
NDA?
crazy. Well, maybe it's an NDA. You guys don't know.
Yeah, you don't fucking know.
Most of you do know.
You don't know.
Because all that stuff is like need to know basis. That's what's funny about it.
It's not government.
It's
I'm
not
not
government,
building bombs. I promise.
Right.
He is not Raytheoning. Yeah, we do know Raytheon people, but you make money. What are you gonna do? We didn't get that on the record, but you can.
How
put
is the engineering major? I mean, that seems intense. One of my friends, my good friend from high school, he tried to be a biomechanical engineer, and he went to UMass Dartmouth.
Yeah.
And he failed out and then joined the Army. I mean, it worked out for him when he joined the Army, but
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like the whole bio stuff, like I can't do. Like that doesn't click in my brain at all. I honestly don't think it's real. Most of it, as we've said on the podcast. I was a mechanical engineer, and I'm actually not a mechanical engineer now. I'm electrical, but those two are like, I don't know, they're like a lot physics heavy, so it kind of clicks in your head. But like, I was president of a fraternity, like 3 days a week, right? Probably going hard, so it was not easy, especially with the vice president of Greek Council too. It was a lot of overnights. Stuff like that.
So Ryan, when I was
Work
at
hard,
school,
play hard.
I didn't do the sports. I should have kept up with some sport, but no, my sport was drinking. I don't know if I've really told you that I was in a fraternity in college, but
This is
how we know each other. This is how me, Coop, not that it's shameful. Is it going?
Yeah.
Cool. But Joey is my little. Well, not was my. Joey like joined under me, was the president of our fraternity. I was vice president for him when I was Greek council president. So that was like the entire Greek organization.
So I was vice president
totally
for you.
stroking my
Yeah.
dick on camera right now, but like
So we trade roles.
Literally,
Yeah.
like me and Joey like fucking ran shit. It was great.
And got drunk and got
And got
okay
drunk.
grades. Okay, you can't laugh at those grades.
So when I guess I have to ask your guys' opinion on this. So then, how many years out of school are you two? Because you seem younger than Matt, right?
2
2 years out. Yeah. So how do you guys still go back ever or no? You know, or was it just cut that thing off right away?
No,
Cut the
not
head
too
off,
often.
like-
I wish so. I graduated right like when COVID hit.
See, you guys kind of got robbed. I will say that. I
Yeah.
felt the most bad for.
Sorry.
I feel the most bad for your grade because it's like, for me, I mean, there was a lot of closure for Bryant, right? You finish it out in May, you graduate, and even I got that bonus year in Tampa, same thing. It's like, but with you guys, it's like all of a sudden it just ends. And I know you only missed like 3 months, but I feel like that like last 3 months is like you close all those doors, and so
for
that's
sure.
tough.
Like I remember setting up my schedule because I did like an internship for like most of a year, so I kind of like missed like a year. So I set up everything for that last semester to be like easy, able to like, you know, go out with a bang, and all of a sudden, boom, COVID. So it did suck. We had to do the graduation on a PowerPoint they sent us. So that was cool. But I could skip across all the names to O'Brien.
Yeah, and the thing for me, too, is the best part is I didn't walk in graduation and stuff, so I don't have any of the pictures. And then I had my job called to, like, make sure I graduated from school there. And originally they were like, yeah, he didn't graduate here. And we're like, I had to, like, dig and call the registrar and stuff and find it. And I didn't have, like, any photographic proof that I graduated, which was great. But, yeah, dude, that was the thing. I don't, like, neither of us really go back. Like, we go, like, not to parties and stuff. We go to, like, events that, like, alumni are supposed to be at. But, like, I don't know. We never push it. I feel like I don't need to go to parties.
I've honestly been tempted lately, but like I live in Woonsocket, and that's an hour. That's an hour and a half. Hour and a half. Hour 15 if you're being generous, up to Lowell, just to have some shitty beer, see some kids that I probably don't know, maybe one person I do know, and then drive all the way back or sleep there. I'm sorry, guys, you're not getting me out.
I like going, but I don't like going for parties. Like, I like going on, like, a weekend and everybody's chilling, like, watching football or something. I'll go by and, like, smoke some weed and leave. But, like, yeah, we also, like, it got cut off. And then I think some of the kids who are, like, newer think we're, like, older than we are. So it's, like, it's kind of like we don't want to be those guys who are, like 30 coming back. Like, you know what I mean?
I went back to Bryant once to party, and it was 4 years after I graduated. So I graduated in 2018, and there was this class of kids, the class I just missed. They were like recruits coming into Bryant, and I met them, and I actually became really good friends with them. And one of these kids, they would always ask me, Ryan, you never go back to college. You never go back. You never go back. You got to go back and party. So I said, he's my good friend Jason, talented runner. He's actually running at Virginia Tech now. He had some COVID eligibility. But he said, can I have one cash-in Ryan card where you have to come back to Bryant to party no matter what? And I was like, all right, Jason, fine. I told him that like 3 years ago. Didn't think anything of it. His last night of college, right, some random Friday night in May, he's like, cashes in this favor, and I'm sitting on my bed comfortable, want to go out, like about to like go out to dinner with like my family. I get this text, you got to come back to Bryant. I cancel all my plans that day and the next day.
Dude, you're a man of your word, man.
I did. I kept my word, and I showed up, and I woke up on a Bryant University couch at age 26. So did not think that was going to happen, but, you know, I'm glad I kept the promise. And I was glad because it was nice to come back at least one time because it was something I never did to come back on campus.
See, if you do it like rarely like that, then I think it's like appreciated, like, and it's almost more acceptable. But when like it's like a habit, I don't think it's appreciated as much.
We have some good, you know,
some habitual returners.
Fraternities got some guys that like to come back.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what I was gonna ask, and I feel like you guys probably have funny stories about that. I wasn't in a fraternity, right? So I feel like you guys probably have kids that you know that like really probably go back way too much versus like, because I don't really know any, but like even the people I ran with at Bryant or my friends, I didn't have any that like would come back all the time. We in our age group, I feel like a lot of us settled down like relationship wise at the same time. So a lot of us had girlfriends going into like junior year, and we all kind of started to slow down and kind of take more of the like leadership roles in the house and kind of phased ourselves out slowly. Whereas like I feel like the people who were older than us didn't do that, so they got used to coming around a lot more. But yeah, like there's some people that are like, we would have like the like freshman first party of like the year, and like someone who's married with a kid comes walking in, and you're like, a party is just like, dude.
So I just want to like even put in before that. So when I joined my freshman year, There were guys who were 26 in the house. They were guys who were still in school, 26. They moved around to different schools, and they were like, this is like a fantastic place that I want to be. No, like, putting crap on those guys for, like, they're figuring out their college lives and stuff, and they finally get to the fraternity. It's like a good place for them to hang out. And then it's like you're 18 and you're like, you're 26? I thought you were like 21, dude. Like, I thought you were at the edge. And then you're like, I don't know about me. I don't want to be 26. Still living in the house.
I couldn't fucking do it. I couldn't do it, man. It's like, it's an experience, and I'm glad that, like, I did it. Especially because, like, when I feel like when people hear we were in fraternity, like, they think, like, a certain thing of it, and it's, like, it's really hard to explain, like, yo, like, it really wasn't what you're imagining it being. Because, like, some guy, when I started doing stand-up, kind of, like, was giving me shit about being in a frat, and I'm like, yeah, man, it's not, like, a frat. I'm like, we paid, like, $300 a semester. Like, it's not, like, like a real one.
So, like... What was, like, the worst, most egregious, like, person that would come back? Like, oldest? Like, we were like, dude, like, when you graduated, I was literally in middle school. Did you guys have any that were, like, that bad? Like, because you just said some man came back with kids. So that's where I really
There's
was
some people who
curious,
are on, like, let's just say double-digit composites and stuff like that, which is fine.
And they, like, do they, like, sleep there? Or do they drive back? Like,
A lot of them drive.
That's not great.
A lot of them drive.
Yeah, it's what I'm saying.
We were especially, like, we, like, really tried to make people stay, but, like.
So what was the earliest graduation year that you, like, the most far out of call that you heard?
I will say most of the people that did come back habitually from that long ago probably didn't graduate.
Like,
but
02?
But, like, maybe even older than that sometimes, yeah. Like 98 once in a while.
Well, there's like two different.
We have a bartender.
We have a lot of events.
We have a bartender in the frat who would come back at night.
2 a.m.
My guy, you know who you are if you're watching. I'm not gonna dox him, my guy. Best shots.
Big fan of the ice. He would bring the ice.
Yeah, great guy. 02. I'm pretty certain, but it's fine. We're just mentioning it. It's a little old.
Here's the deal. You live your life.
At 2 a.m. That where he's 2 a.m.
Not always.
2 a.m. Tom. 2 a.m. Not his name was not Tom, and they know it's not Tom. The people who know.
The funniest thing about the fraternity stuff, and it's like, it's cool that there's people who, like, care and stuff, but one of the weirdest things about being in a fraternity that I don't think I really, like, looked at until I started getting older was the people who would come and be, like, pissed off at you for doing certain stuff. Like, not anything bad, but, like, changing things from, like, how it used to be, let's just say. And it's like, you'd, like, remove yourself from it for a minute, and you'd be like, dude, you're, like, fucking 38. All right? And it's like, I'm 18, 19, 20 years old. And that's fine, and it's like, I agree that, like, it's almost like it's like a mini America, you know what I mean? You got, like, your people that, like, are old and appreciate what it is and, like, kind of help out where it's needed, and then you got the boomers who, like, scream about how much better, like, shit was back in the day, and though you can be varying ages, even, like, your age, like, it's just, like, it's such a weird environment of people, because it's like it exposed you to a lot of characters.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy. I mean, hearing like 38 and all this, because it's like I'd be honest with you right now. Like, you could plot me on a college campus right now, and I honestly would probably have so much in common with all the students and stuff, and I'd be able to, like, party like I did in college, do all that. Like, it wouldn't really feel any different. But then I think, like, all right, like 7-8 years down the line, a decade down the line, I don't think I could do it. Like the difference between a 26-year-old and a 21-year-old, 22-year-old, it's not really that much. You know, when you're 18 and you think that it's a lot, and you think, that's so, but it's nothing. But, like, 38, I really do think, like, I mean, wow.
No, it's like, dude, there's, like, I think there's a definite generational gap, and I'd say for someone like us, like our age, I'd feel like it's someone who's like 30 or up. Like, there's just, like, that slight, like, we just missed some of the stuff that, like, it's like that we're on the cusp of, like, being a little bit younger, and they're on the cusp of being a little bit older. and it's like kind of like that little disconnect. So what is that, like 4 or 5 years for us? I feel like once you get past that threshold, like it's kind of tough.
It's like I think like I just look at like the kids these days and it's like, all right, could I have like a fun day if I was still in high school? Could I have a fun day if I was still a freshman in college? Like where do you draw the line where it's like, all right, I have nothing in common with these kids? I think it's probably, I think there's studies on this. It's like, I think like 8 years or something like that, 8 to 10.
That makes sense, yeah.
I think it's a 4-year cycle. I always put fads in 4-year cycle because I always say, what does the juniors in high school think? Because they do not like what the seniors in high school think, and it's always kind of. I always
That
think
is
of like,
true, but, like, also
junior
not.
high school girls as like the gauge of like
What?
what's popular.
What the fuck are you talking about?
This is how fads
Get
cycle
this
in
off
America.
the fucking
Whatever-
podcast. Get this off the fucking podcast.
Dude, whatever the junior high school girls are.
Stop doubling down. Because think
What
of
are
someone
they-
just clipping that. Junior high school girls as we're talking
I'm getting
on the
destroyed.
fucking podcast, you idiot. Sorry.
They're in control of the high school. That's what I'm
joking.
saying. Junior high school girls are in control of the high school and the fads that run the high school.
Oh my god, I'm fucking dead. I know what you're saying though. I think it's like the 4 years. If you're within someone's 4 year, I was also joking, Prokop, please don't be mad. Between the 4 years, I feel like that's when you have the chance to really connect with someone. Like you're like, because I feel like you get you're similar. Like, but once you get past like 5, it's like, all right, you can kind of still get along. And then I think agree 5 to 8 is like that's the window.
That's why because I say you can. And it sounds kind of dumb, but I say you can just miss them, like just miss the high school, because like some of my best friends, when I graduated Bryant, were graduating high school, and then I met them when I did my 5th year of college, like in Tampa and stuff. And when I got there at first, I was like, holy shit, like these kids were like graduating high school when I was graduating college. Like I am a full 4 years removed from them, but we had like similar stuff in common, and it was the same. But some of that I think comes down to like I feel like technology kind of has stagnated a little bit. I have a cousin that's 10 years younger than me, and I have a cousin that's 10 years older than me. And if I look at my high school experience, I had Snapchat, I had Instagram, I had Twitter, Facebook, all that was around. He uses all that stuff. Live streaming was a thing, Twitch was a thing, all of that was a thing. But you go 10 years back to my other cousin who's 10 years older than me, and none of that stuff existed in 2004 when he was in high school. So it's like, it's weird. I think it comes down to technology too. Yeah,
and it's funny too because I feel like, especially a trend that I'm seeing on social media is like the people, like the Zillennials and like the Gen Z and the whatever is younger than Gen Z. I don't even know what they are, but they all roast millennials. I feel like millennials took like the most heat, like got shit on by the boomers because they didn't connect with them because they had just too much technology and they started getting soft, yada yada yada. And then it's like the Gen Z kids hate fucking millennials. They think they're stupid. They make fun of them for collecting lightsabers. Like, dude, it's like those people are the people who are like 5 to 10 years older than us. I kind of feel really bad for. Like, to be honest.
Ryan, how many lightsabers do you still own? I own one from like my childhood days that I found in the basement.
Mine all broke.
And I was like, okay, I guess I got to hold on to this one.
A very special lightsaber, actually. I own this green one that I got at Thomas's birthday party. So his little brother had a Star Wars themed birthday party, and like I said, Matt was like a borderline video game addict as a kid.
What do you remember what Tom's birthday is?
What day it is? No.
May 4th.
May 4th. Oh, that's why.
I guess.
But anyway, he had a Star Wars themed party, and like I had this lightsaber from Thomas that I had for years, and I just kept it. I don't know why, but. Like I said, I was like the oldest person at Thomas's birthday party because Thomas is like 4 years younger than us. But like I'd always hang out with Thomas because Matt would be like grinding a video game.
That would be great.
Like not even a joke. Like one time you had me over, dude, and you found every Pokemon in Diamond and Pearl Pokedex. Like for the day, you like completed the Pokedex. I don't know if you remember that, but like
I do not remember that.
Dude, oh
I
my
must
God.
have like I think I have ADD. But I got to get a diagnosis.
That's something for sure.
I do not remember you coming over and being like, Matt, get off the fucking PS3 and stop grinding.
Touch grass, kid. That's
No,
mad
I
funny.
don't know. I mean, it was still fun hanging out there, though. We used to meet you, Nick, Eric, Evan. You know, good times, dog.
great
Good times.
I was saying it's always interesting to see Prokop outside of like the friend group that we have Prokop in, because he's not the Prokop of your guys' friend group, which is funny.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I just knew it was Matt. Like, yeah.
Dude, he's a character, man. One of a kind. That's mad funny. Were you chubby back in the day or no? Always skinny.
No.
Because I'm imagining you being a little troll kid.
He was just kind of pretty much a little pudgy face, I guess. But I mean,
Baby
he was,
fat?
He was, yeah,
Yeah,
like baby
yeah.
fat. Like, he was always pretty much normal size.
Pretty much normal. I'm fucking dead. So, one thing, can we ask about the thing that you were talking about opening up?
Yo, yeah. Go for it.
How has that process been, like opening a dispensary in Mass? I feel like the hoops that you have to go through is fucking insane. Did you get the license through a lottery? Like, isn't that the case?
No, it wasn't a lottery. So that's for like I think that might be for like transportation.
Oh, okay.
But for us, it was just like a lot of paperwork. First, you have to go to a town. You have to get a host agreement, right? So that's step one. So that's what we did in early 2019. So you get a host agreement, and the town's like, all right, I agree. You can open a dispensary in the town. That's tough in itself. Then you have to get approved by the zoning board. And then after you get approved by the zoning board, which is actually the hardest part, you have to get the building inspector to approve your architectural plans. Then they have to come in, and then you have to start dealing with the Cannabis Control Commission, which is where we are now, just finishing up our final 2 inspections. But like the whole process took us 3 years, and I mean, like it was a grind. But here we are, and excited.
What is Western Mass like easier for that? Like, is that why you chose out there?
So I mean, I tried to open one in North Attleboro, got rejected immediately. Slam dunk.
The town
Shut
said
down,
no?
Said no. Yeah, it sucked. We are fighting right now with the town next to North Attleboro. Just dropped the North, so Attleboro. But I think we're gonna settle on that to open a dispensary there, hopefully, and then we're trying to open one in Hopedale, but it's not really going the best.
Hopedale. Where's Hopedale? I've heard about that before.
It's kind of like it's close by here. It's like right near Bellingham, like up.
Oh,
that way,
okay,
you know?
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
So out of the three, Greenfield was the one that just went through, and then I mean the town was super helpful. Building inspector was a super nice guy, and it all worked out. But yeah, just finalizing it, man.
How close to 91 are you?
I would say maybe 7 miles.
Nice.
Yeah, it's close.
Dude, fuck yeah. 'Cause
How-
they have so much dispensaries out there. Like, dude, that's a place that loves weed. They love
Yeah, I
their
was
weed
gonna
out
ask,
there.
like, do you have like a lot of competition in the area?
There's only one dispensary in the town of Greenfield, which is
awesome.
huge for us. And so it's not like it is so hard to open a dispensary in Massachusetts that it's not going to be like Colorado or California where the market gets super saturated. Like they are only giving a certain amount of host agreements in the entire state, and once they're gone, you can't open a dispensary anymore. So there's like going to be, I think, like there's like thousands of liquor stores in Massachusetts, and most of them are all pretty profitable. Just as many people smoke weed as they do drink these days.
Oh, I'm
And,
sure.
like there's only going to be like 5 or 6% of the amount of cannabis dispensaries as there are liquor stores. So it's like there's going to be like that's why it's a pretty profitable industry right now.
That's awesome. Yeah, and dude, I feel like out there, a lot of people in like Connecticut, because Connecticut's legal for weed now, but they haven't opened their dispensaries, so a lot of people love going up to like the Western Mass to
that's
do their
what's good.
stuff.
Is it's right near Connecticut, and we're right near Vermont. So like, if we're looking for places to live. I looked in Brattleboro, Vermont, to stay.
Oh, that's right near. That's kind of near North Adams, right?
Totally. That's where like me and Megan go to fucking
To
go
fucking fuck what?
camp.
Well,
For
it's-
fucking camp and like
So you can-
and like to summer and shit.
Fucking camp.
To fucking
That's-
camp and
There's a nudist colony out there on Route 2. Is that where
No.
you go?
But like that's
The
like
fucking
one thing that
camp.
I wouldn't think about at all is the Vermont, because they're not super big on the recreational. Like
In Vermont?
you kind of have to have your own backyard thing.
Mm.
It's legal. Like they have no problem with it, but they aren't implementing dispensaries as quickly, I think.
Snow Hicks, man, not efficient.
Yeah, and I mean, so that's what's good, right? Is like you get like the other state traffic coming down. I mean, Connecticut's right there too, and it's not legal there yet. So it's like, It's a growing industry. I mean, the one thing I will say about the cannabis dispensary industry, what I loved is like I went to this networking event for playing frisbee golf. I was telling you guys a little bit about it, but like the like distributors and all the people there were so helpful, super nice, and it's like they wanted to see everybody succeed. So it wasn't just like they were like out to get you or they weren't taking you seriously. Like any questions I had, they were all super nice, super helpful, super informative. So
what would you say like the average age of like people who are doing that? Would you say it's like kind of closer to you or like?
Yeah, and then you get the people from the business like side that are like older, like like 40s, 50s. But a lot of the kids that are like bud tenders and stuff like that and new to the industry, all around my age and your age.
So are you like a big personally, are you like a big pot guy or like what? Do you just think it's a profitable thing to do?
So I mean, it's a good right. I would sell toilet paper if it was like profitable. So I personally am not like daily user. No. Every once in a while, my friends, I occasionally get high and stuff like that. Like everybody does, but like not. I don't like use it like weekly. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a once in a while thing.
That's interesting. There's a ton of people I feel like that are getting into weed that are like that, which I find like super.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just like I don't know. I guess all of college I got drug tested, right? So it wasn't allowed by the NCAA, so I didn't do it then. And then after I would do it a few. It was almost one of those things where it's like I liked for like a special occasion to do it. I will say though, like during like COVID, I definitely did it a lot more.
Yeah,
because it was just like there's nothing to do or go. But yeah, that's basically. It seems like you guys daily. I mean, nothing wrong with it. I mean, I try to not be. I do it when I'm social a lot more. Like when we were out here, I smoked a few joints. But like if I'm at home, I'll smoke like a bong bowl at night. Like if I do, like I try to keep it pretty low.
Right. I don't know if I ever told you this. I've been daily since junior year of high school.
It's like I knew you smoked weed, right? Even in high school, I would hang out with you and I knew you smoked weed, so it wasn't a big deal. But like, dude, I will say like some of the worst things that I think that they ever did for like middle schoolers was in elementary schools was the DARE program, because dude, when I was in like 8th grade, 9th grade, I like thought that weed was like the same level as like freaking like heroin. Because like that's how the DARE program makes it out to be. They're like any drug or alcohol is like so bad. Like they scare you when you're a little kid. So
which is like counterproductive, because then it's like once people smoke weed and they're like, oh, this isn't a big deal at all. Or if like, oh, I drink and I don't die right away, it's like, oh, like maybe crack's not that bad.
No,
like
right.
Like,
and so that's what it was bad. And that's why I think like England and like the UK with the drinking age does things a lot better, because they started at 18. It's not this taboo thing. I mean, I was a wreck when I started drinking. I didn't drink in high school. So like my first like week of drinking in college, you know what I was doing was a wreck. Like it's tough.
Yeah, and it's so easy to develop unhealthy habits when you kind of like start like that. And then it's just like if you never get control of it. And I feel like that's kind of where a lot of people slip. Like that's one thing I was kind of happy about COVID, is because it stopped me drinking a lot. Because like I was smoking and drinking the last few years of college, but I was like still better than freshman and like sophomore year. But
so you guys never ever in your entire like weed career gotten like bad highs where you're like,
oh, I have.
Where you're like, dude, like shit, like I feel like I'm having a heart attack right now. Like
mostly from edibles. I one day made like during the start of COVID, we were playing Warzone, and I made like a smoothie, and I threw probably like 7 grams of like vaped weed into the smoothie and drank it all. And then I ate 2 things of Campbell's soup, and I didn't water it down. So in my head, I'm like, I'm having a heart attack because of the soup. And I wasn't. It was just because I ate way too much weed.
I mean, yeah, I've had my brownies where I'm like, I am on another level, and it's like 6 hours. It feels like 6 hours, but it's really just like 2.5, and then you finally fall asleep. I've also, our great friend Nick, across the street from me, I watched his house one summer and smoked some real like fire red like sativa stuff, like very got your brain going. Close your eyes, you kind of see a little cartoonies. Like, very good stuff. Not good when the filter of the pool has been off for the week, and you go like, oh, they're not home. I'll just jump in really quick. And you jump in, you take a hit. You're like, woo, this is some good weed. And then you jump into an algae-filled pool, and you feel all like the algae moving on you. Yeah, I've had bad ones, but like
very
keep coming
relatable
back.
feeling.
I had a horrible time with an edible once. Right after I graduated college, me and like some of my high school friends were like, all right, today is the day. Like, we're just all going to like rip edibles. It's like to celebrate. It's fun. But it was right before recreational weed was like a thing. So we were like, all right, hit up my friend's little brother. He had a medical card. So he bought us edibles, but he wanted to mess with us. So he bought us these like little gummies. And I like took 2 of them because it's a classic edible story, right? You don't think it's strong enough. And we were all just like on the couch, all of us just sitting there for hours. And then one of my friends just gets up and he's like, dude, my heart.
I'm fucking dead.
Freaking out, like freaks everybody else out. And it was like, I have to say I had like a bad 30 minutes, but then I felt great for hours.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was worth it.
Once you get through that like intense anxiety and it like you get to the other side of it, you're like, oh, this is pretty dope.
It's so nice. I gotta say, it's like I feel like with weed, what I've noticed is like it's like this initial, no matter what, like after 30 minutes,
it's gone.
It's gone. Like how bad you feel, and then you just get to enjoy.
Yeah, it's so not intense. Like, but I don't know. I think like I have like a hypothesis that I've cooked up that if people like start smoking weed younger, they have like less and less ability to like fight through that. I feel like we have like a ton of friends that started smoking when they're like 12, 13 years old and now don't smoke anymore because they like anxiety, shit like that. They just don't do it. Whereas like I didn't start really smoking heavily until college. Like honestly, sophomore year of college is when I really started smoking heavily. And I feel like I can kind of get through the anxiety a little bit more. But I don't know. I just feel like it's like it's when you start it, kind of. I feel like I don't know. Weed's weird, man. It's
Matt, when
weird.
did you I've always never, because I always knew you smoked even when we were in high school and stuff. But when did you actually start? Well, when like what was the story with that? Like,
So it had to be like hockey or something. Like everyone was talking about weed. Matt H. Do you remember Matt?
Matt.
Well, we don't like doxing everyone, Ryan. So
Your name got doxed.
Yeah, no, like we're not that big yet, and like so we keep we all, you know, we're being respected. He went to UML too.
Who did?
I don't know if Matt H. I think he was a little bit older. He was in my year, so he probably didn't come around the house and was definitely around like the Tip, which was our like local like music venue.
That and
like,
the Shaft.
Yeah, the Tip, the Shaft, and the Vatican.
Vatican.
So everyone was like talking about it. I was like, whatever, I gotta get it. And Brad A maybe got my like first like gram. Someone got me my first gram. And then like, oh no, you know who it was? You
When was?
You remember Zach and AJ?
Dude, how many names are you dropping? Yeah, hey, North Attleboro.
okay, yeah, I know.
So Zach and I'm literally doxing everyone, but they don't. If they stumble upon this, they're gonna laugh and they don't fucking care. Zach and Andrea smoked me up.
What?
Some purple derpy, super good stuff that like I was like, wow, this is fantastic. And then I like met the our local stoners and would pick up a fucking gram every now and then, and I would literally smoke like one hits out of like bongs I made like from plastic bottles in this one hitter I had. And yeah, that's,
when was this?
This was like sophomore through senior year of high school
Okay.
until I actually got real pieces.
I'm dead.
So like, didn't you say you had some close calls? Because it's not like your parents were kind of strict with some stuff. Like didn't you say like? I just remember one time you told me like, I think you listened to some Beastie Boys song or something. You were like, yeah, I was really motivated to smoke after that. And then you said you like smoked and you came home and like your mom was like, what did you just go do? Or so, right? Like, did you ever get caught when you were in high school?
They had to have known.
Not in high school, I think. Maybe technically like a summer into college. And then my mom like went through my drawer and was like, what is all this? I'm like, I smoke weed, Mom. And then she was like, damn it. You got away with it.
Dude, you had that Buzz Lightyear toy in your room, and I remember he was like telling me once, he was like, "Where should I hide my weed?" Like he was like telling me where he hid his weed and stuff, and I told him, I was like, "Dude, hide in the Buzz Lightyear," and he like refused. I said, like, take the Buzz Lightyear batteries out, put it in there. No one is ever gonna find it. I thought
Dude,
it
this guy fucking
dope hiding spot.
that is.
I would have had
To
to use a
infinity and
screwdriver
beyond.
each time to get my weed.
That's true. And then when you were like stoned out of your mind, you'd be like trying to put the screws in, just like
Yeah.
super out of it. Yeah.
So, how are your like parents like cool with weed? Like, how was it explaining to them that you wanted to open a dispensary?
Yeah, they don't care. I mean, and it also was a lot of my dad's idea too. I mean, we tried to turn that golf course around, and then somebody tried to buy it because it was in a zone for marijuana. So they never had a problem with it. I mean, I feel like they know it, like the facts about it. You know, I mean, both of them have done it before, so it's not like, you know, they never really were hardcore like devil's lettuce bad.
Yeah, my parents were for a while, and now they're not, which is like honestly, my sister, they're like scared of her. So once she started smoking, it became like okay. Like I came home one time, and I'm not like, this was before I was like allowed to smoke around them. Like I still had to hide and stuff, but they were fine if I like went out back and smoked weed. She was like ripping dabs in our like living room with her little New Jersey troll boyfriend. And I was like, oh my God. And that's when it was okay. And ever since, we were able to smoke weed around the house, which is dope.
Yeah, I kind of made it okay for Tom. Tom fucking...
You always gotta be the trailblazer.
Like, yeah, the oldest gotta be the trailblazer. So, like, definitely was like, okay, we smoke weed, Mom. I come home and I smoke weed out on the porch when I live at home. It's 11 o'clock at night. You're asleep. You shouldn't care. And then eventually when Megan moved back home with me, we were smoking, like, we were living in the basement and smoking out of, like, the bulkhead. and like, that was fine. Like, that was no problem. And then Tom was like, fine, when he came home from school, he was like, if they're smoking out the bulkhead, I'm living in Matt's room now, and I'm smoking out his window. And it's like, perfect. We've totally taken over at this point.
That's so funny to just visualize like how everything just like, wow, I can't believe that. Lost your words there. Yeah, I haven't been to your North Attleboro house in forever. But you don't even go there anymore. Now you live in Woonsocket, right? So it's like, how often are you in North?
I was there today because I picked up the clubs. Because the club, they're my dad's clubs, and I gotta get my own clubs. But I mean, to go shopping like that, everything's on Route 1, so that's
Square Mall, baby.
Everett Square Mall. Like that's why we're going over here, or we go up to like Franklin or Rentham because we're right by the outlets.
The outlets. Insane.
Dope.
But, yeah, so what time are we looking at? How are we looking?
Probably an hour.
Is that how long these episodes are on?
Yeah.
We'll go longer. We'll go 2 is like where we push it. We just hit about an hour 5.
Word. I'm trying to think of other questions. I'm sorry, I'm out of it. What do you got a question?
So did COVID affect like opening up the dispensary?
So bad.
You said 3
dude.
years, but I was thinking like last 3
dude,
years.
So like I posted on LinkedIn like hyped like that I was gonna open this in like April of like 2021. Super embarrassing. Got flamed by all my friends because like how badly I missed my deadline. But like the thing that killed us, right, was construction. All of the COVID regulations. Normally, the plumber builds something, and at the same time he's doing something, the electrician is in there, and at the same time the electrician is doing something, like the carpenters are in there. And we couldn't do that. Everybody had to go in separately. But the problem is a lot of the jobs in that building that we were renovating to become a dispensary build off each other. So the plumber needs to do something that the electrician then needs to do, and then the plumber can go back to his job. So it was really tough coordinating the scheduling with all these guys because of that. And then on top of that, the price of construction materials skyrocketed up like 1,000%, like something like ridiculous. So it was like, what are you gonna do, man?
Yeah, no, we have, and again, inspections too. Like my family opened an axe throwing bar in the middle of COVID. And getting the inspections and stuff, like, it was impossible. they're inspecting so many buildings, and they have like so many rules about like who can be in there, like what you were saying, like. So we just end up building a lot of it ourselves because we didn't. It was just our family, and then trying to get like electricians in was just a nightmare because, like exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, that's we did the same thing, so I relate to that. My dad and I put up a fence together, which I'm proud of. My friends make fun of me because I spent hours building this fence, like all day, like in this random November day, digging holes, using like that little thing that like auger to dig and stuff. Hours putting this fence up, and I was so proud of it. We poured in pavement and everything, made it look good. First fucking windstorm, whole fence falls down. Humiliating. Yeah.
Dude, there was a few, like in the last year, there's been some brutal storms. Like, my backyard got decimated. Like, my parents' backyard, they lost, like, 2 massive trees. Their fence got fucking crushed by the trees. Like, nuts. So, I don't think it was a building flaw. I think it was just massive winds.
You would say that. I got flamed hard, though, man.
Really?
I mean, yeah, I was proud of the fence, too. I was, like, really proud of the fence. And
It's devastating.
we had to end up having some guy come and help us fix it. So it wasn't a DIY kind of thing, unfortunately.
Did you take a picture of the fence once it was done?
Yeah, and when it fell, too. Yeah, I have pictures of the fence, yes.
See, you completed it. Just because it didn't withstand nature doesn't mean you didn't accomplish something.
I had to say it's one of the worst texts I've ever gotten. And my dad sent me a picture of the fence all on the ground.
That's a lot of time gone.
Yeah.
Devastating. Oh, but Prokop, do you have any questions before we...
I don't think I got any questions. I just want to, say again, thank you to Ryan.
Yeah, dude, this was fucking insane. This was a great day.
Like, I told them, like, oh, yeah, I totally forgot. Like, my buddy Ryan, like, runs this whole thing with his dad. And then, like, you came out of nowhere. Totally realist MVP to ever live. Made this thing happen. Like, obviously, super happy to have you on the podcast.
Dude, we got to get you on again for sure,
yeah,
dude. When you get the dispo open and shit. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I love having you guys. It was a lot of fun doing this. Seriously, it's my first podcast, so
dude, you wouldn't be able to tell, dude. You were a fucking natural.
But I public speaking was the only thing in school I was like good at, I guess. Like everything else I had to grind, like study for. But public speaking was like my favorite thing.
Did you ever run for student body president?
I did not. I entered a pitch competition though, like pitching a business idea when I was in college, and I got like second. So
fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. But no, seriously though, I loved being on this thing. It was a blast. You guys are very creative. I wish you all the best. Hopefully this thing explodes eventually someday. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's the goal.
But I just want to add, when you were saying with what do you guys have what's the company name, Ryan?
Yeah, we forgot to ask that.
Green River Cannabis is the dispensary in Greenfield, Massachusetts. Seriously, when we open, if you guys want to come down for a podcast and have it on the dispensary,
I think cool we too. Have to do that.
And then you guys could probably talk about your favorite strains and stuff like that. Seriously though, so yeah,
dude, connoisseur, some might say.
Durban Poison. Love me a good Durban Poison oil. Can smoke that all day long. Keeps me fucking going.
Interesting.
Love it. Love me a good indica.
So do you have like a specific grower that you're going to be working with, or do you are you going to be shopping around for different vendors?
That's what I'm doing right now. So I've talked to a few.
That's an indica. It's a sativa.
Idiot.
I've talked to a few. One of them was super, super nice, super helpful, and they reached out to us. So I think we're probably going to go with them to stock our store, at least for the initial inspection, and see where it goes from there. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's such a great industry. Like none of them were felt like they were out to get me or screw me over. It was all just they wanted to see you succeed just as much as they wanted to succeed. So
would you say that prices across the board between growers that you've interacted with have been pretty similar, or there's some that are really up a level, or what would you say?
I would say the prices are pretty much more or less similar. The thing that I think is going to be the biggest problem, and one of the biggest things, is there's this integrated system called Metric, mm-hmm. and you have to be certified to use it to log all of the cannabis that comes in, and I'm the only one that in our company right now that is certified to do that, and I have to be here on the back half of the week. So it's looking for dispensaries that have their Western Mass delivery day Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Basically, is what I'm trying to do.
Are there like a lot of options for that? Or
Yeah, there's a ton. I mean,
That's
there's
great.
a ton of things out there. There's a ton of growers out there. I mean, it'll be fine. I'm not too stressed about it.
dude, fuck yeah, that's
Yeah.
gonna be awesome,
I'm
man.
excited.
Yeah. So what's the date that you're looking at?
So I don't do dates anymore after
No,
my
you don't do it.
debacle. After my debacle.
Do you have
with
like an
that.
estimate?
Yeah, so I mean, it depends on. Next week is huge. So next Wednesday, they're coming in. The state is coming in and inspecting us, and if we do that, that's when we can start bringing in product, and then I have my final scheduled whenever the state wants to. So next week's big. That'll tell me when really. I mean, I'm hoping sometime by the end of the fall.
Dude, that'd be
my
awesome.
goal, so.
Hopefully by when this comes out next week,
Oh,
you would have heard
definitely
good
not
news.
next week, but
You would
hopefully
have
I
heard
get
good news.
news,
No, I'm
yeah.
saying you heard good news by next week. That would be great. Do they tell you right away from your inspection?
No, for sure not. I mean, I
Dude, that's
wish. I
brutal.
mean, like in a perfect world, yes, but no, probably. I would say like they'll probably come in, and no matter how diligent you are, they're gonna find something wrong, right? And it's gonna be one of those things where it's like the building sector comes in, they're like, you need to fix that, but in good faith, we'll issue this, but you have to send us a picture of that. So I'm sure it'll take a week or two after they come in, where they give us our deficiencies and we just do it, and then they don't have to come back, but they issue it. So.
Dude, awesome. Well, congrats on that. Dude, this fucking course was awesome. We had a great time. You're an absolute legend. We appreciate you coming on. This was a great little fucking
Great, I loved it.
conversation.
Yeah, this was fun. It was fun catching up with Matt. It was awesome.
Dude, if you guys are looking to golf this fall, come out to Wentworth Hills in Plainville, and then you can hit the slots casino in Plainville after. I don't know how far that is from there.
It's actually it's slots only. It's called Plainridge Park. Yeah, so.
Play the slots after Wentworth Hills, dude. This was great. But thank you for coming on. Prokop, great job. Dude, I might do some slots.